Hey guys, welcome back to another video with the Beach Boy, and as you saw in the title, it will, be a story time, and yes, this is my pain, part 1, but, part 2 is gonna be a different time. I had pain. Yay, pain! Also, I might sometimes, because of the last video, I realized I kind of sounded a little quiet, so I might remember that and talk louder, but then I could, forget it and talk a little quieter. And also that's on just because it was cold in here. It's the fake fireplace. Well, yeah, so the story about my pain, yes. Well, so this part 1 is, yeah, as I said, a different story of, part 2. They're totally different things, but just they're both my pain. Now, even though this is part 1, it's probably going to be the most pain I have ever felt in my life, and hopefully ever will feel. So the story is, yeah, do you guys know what the craze maze is? I bet nobody here, I only have, 20, I checked, 26 subscribers, and, yeah, I bet none of you have ever heard of the craze maze. Or maze craze. Actually, I'm not sure which it is. I'm just gonna call it the craze. Wait. No, actually, which one is it? Maze craze or craze? I think it's maze craze. Yeah, so I'm just gonna call it that, even though it could be both. But I think it's maze craze. So it's this little place outside of East Palestine. It's a little tiny town in Ohio right next to Pennsylvania. It's somewhere, somewhere around there. I'm not sure exactly where, but, and, one time, so every year, I go there with my grandma, because she lives, around here. And I'm actually in my grandma's house right now. She takes me and Mallory and, yeah, takes us to the craze maze, which only happens once a year, because what it is, it's like a maze of corn. It's just a cornfield, but they only planted corn in some areas, so there would be kind of little hallways through the corn, and it's like a real life-size maze that you go through made out of corn. Pretty cool, right? And to make it even cooler, there's a map every year of the corn maze, and they actually planted it, so they put the corn that they planted in black, and then the where they didn't plant it in white, or the opposite, I don't know, black, white, and it makes this picture, a giant picture, because the crazy maze, it's big, it's very big. There are lots of people going through it. You don't usually see them. It shows you a picture, and it's different things every year, like a giant picture. I don't know what that was. Sounded kind of like a phone, one of those remote phones. I don't know, it's a giant picture, I think one year is two people, and one was holding an American flag or something. I don't know, it's giant though. So, anyway, about explaining what the craze maze is. I don't think that last part was very important, but whatever. How long? It's already 5 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm good. I. So, one time I was going there, because I go there every year. Well, yeah. Because it's only once every year, because, the corn has to grow, but then, they pick the corn and it dies or whatever. I don't know the cycle of corn. They only do it once a year. And this year, oh yeah, they probably have to, plan it most of the, plan it most of the year. Where's this one gonna go? Because the big picture. Oh, so me and my grandma and maybe probably my parents. Yeah, also my parents as well. We're going there one year. I don't know. I think I might have been 7 or 8 or somewhere around there. And we get there, and outside of the Craze Maze, there's all these kind of fun places. There's a giant hay bale stack you can climb onto. There's pits of little, the corn kernels? There's pits of them, and those little tiny machine things you can get onto, and it's handles. I don't think any of you know what those are, but you press it and a tiny little digger can go down, and then you pull the other one or something, and then the digger goes up and it picks up some of the stuff. It's mostly in sand. I think it's usually put in sand. But there's that. There's a lot of fun stuff there. Outside of the Craze Maze while you're waiting, maybe? I'm not sure what. But, one of the things is, well, that's everything I can remember, except for one of the things, which is a bunch of, there are a bunch of these tires, right? And they're on the ground, but they're not, on the ground. They're in the ground. Imagine the ground is here. No, actually, no, just imagine the ground is here, right? The tire is kind of coming up, you can only see, half the tire coming out of the ground. Or actually, it could be more. Maybe, only a little part of the tire in the ground. I don't know. But those were, sprinkled, and there was kind of, a bunch of those in a little area, and they were all painted different colors. One was green, one was orange, one was red, and it's blue. And I was a little kid. I went over there, and I saw a kid. He got on one of the tires. Yeah, it's just another boy, older than probably a little older than. Sorry, probably a little older than me. He gets on one of the tires, and then he jumps from on top of one tire to the other. Remember, the tires are kind of like this, coming out of the ground. And for me, as a little kid, that's kind of high. A little lower than my height, maybe. The tires at the top could be maybe a little lower than my height, just a little bit, or maybe higher. I'm not sure, but they seem fairly big to little me. And my small child brain, I could have been even younger than 7, 6. I don't know. No, probably around 7, 6, or like I said. But me, my little brain, I'm oh, that's really cool. And I want to do that. Now, that kid, I think he was, maybe, well, I'm not really sure, but he was older than me. Maybe by a little bit. Or a lot. I mean, I don't really remember the kid part of the story too well. I can only remember my part of the story. So, I got on. I climbed onto a tire. Probably, up the side or something. And I'm okay, I'm gonna do it in my mind, and I jump from one tire to the other. But Since I was little, smaller, terrace seemed kind of a little bit far apart, whatever. Instead of doing what the kid does, I do not actually jump onto the tire. I miss, and I fall in between them. But you might be like, yeah, Alex just got hurt, but like, why is this but Beach Boy, why is this the most pain you've ever felt in your life? Well, see, when I miss the tire, I only miss it with my feet, because I wanted to land on it. But what happens instead is I don't entirely miss it. My body goes in front of it, but then, sorry, I landed so close that my head got right above it, sorry, while I was falling. And then I was falling at, gravity speed, whatever you would expect from jumping off a tire that's like a third submerged in the ground, or half, or somewhere around there. And the tire, or here, I'm falling, and it hits my chin. My chin hit that thing, and I'm, falling, gravity. I hit it so hard, it hurt, and I think that my front teeth, I think, like, dug into my lip, like, and it hurt so bad. Went like this. I think my lip is kind of here, and my teeth went on it as I'm hitting the tire, and it's because blood. I just need to say blood everywhere. Just everywhere. Now, hopefully I don't get demonetized for saying the word blood, but, I mean, it's not on the tire, it's not really on the ground, but just, like, blood is pouring from, like, my lip or whatever, and it just, cried. I cried so hard, because it hurt the most hurt I ever was. I could not, like, stand up. I laying on the ground crying, bleeding from my mouth. And, obviously, my parents came over, grandma came over, Mallory, I don't know. People were probably looking, although I can't really remember that. And I will always remember that, like, I had to get ice and, like, tons of paper towels, yeah, and ice. I will always remember that, forever. Now, and also and that's kind of over, I eventually, like, after a long time, eventually got good enough that I could do the maze, but obviously, like, took a very long time for me to not hurt enough, and, like, probably hurt through the whole maze, just like, ow. And also, the next day at school, I don't know why, there was, like, when I was at school the next day, there was kind of, like, a thin scab under my chin. Now, that probably was from hitting the tire. Yeah. And, just one more thing, I kind of want to that was the only time I have ever tried to jump on from one tire to the other at the Craze Maze, and I kind of want to do it again. I know you'd probably be like, no, don't do it, Beach Boys. Don't do it. But, well, I kind of want to do it again. But I don't know when the Craze Maze is supposed to be happening, or Maze Craze, or god damn it. Well, yeah, that was my pain, my horror, my bleeding, very badly hurt. Oh, one thing! Oh, I forgot! Where my teeth dug into my lip after for years there was like a big bump, and you can still see. Hold on. Can you guys see it right there? Right there, it's like a tiny bump. Right there, can you see it? Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, that was like what, maybe like 5 years ago or more? Or probably somewhere around there. Well, yeah, it was like 6, and then like, yeah, that was probably around like maybe 5 years ago or more. Well, yeah, guys, that was my very hurting pain. Um, uh, the video was fun, but it's over now. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you again in another Beach Boy video. Bye!